Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. So recently I did a build where I used Mongorester on the back end, and along with basically which is some tools for Express and Mongo, and I was able to generate like auth like that, and we were able to create a quick API. And really, what I want to do, and then I use merced-react-hooks on the front end, and that build kind of was like over 3 videos, but it showed you like how quickly you can get certain things done using my custom hooks and on the front end with React and Mongorester on the back end. So I'm gonna do another build now. I'm gonna see if I try again to see if I can do a build within an hour. Except this time I'm not gonna use authentication because what took up a lot of time in the last one is still building like the login, sign up, sign out. So while we were able to spin up that React project real quick, set up global state pretty fast, where things kind of hit a slowdown was just building out all the basic sign in, sign out functionality. So I figured this time let's just build a full CRUD API. Let's build a React front end and see if we can do it within an hour. So okay, right now it says 10:03 a.m. Let's see if we can get this done by 11:03 a.m. So I'm gonna create a new folder. So let's see here. So this is we're gonna call this more blogs because it's gonna be another blog app. It's just okay, cool. Okay, and now here we go. Let me think here. What do I want to do? Well, yeah, I want to create a back end and front end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this folder, new folder, open the terminal, and I'm gonna do a cool thing. Okay, I'm gonna do npx make full stack app. This is a tool I made to quickly spin up a full stack application. So if you do this, what's gonna happen? Now I'm not gonna put any kind of. I could be like Express React to specify that I want an Express backend and a React front end, but that's the default. Okay, you can also do like Fastify and Vue if you wanted, whatever you want to do. Okay, but what I'm gonna do is just make full stack app, and this will just kind of do everything for me. And there we go. So see, I have a Express project. See, da da da. And I have should have also a front end in there. I guess I did not create the front end folder, interestingly enough. Why not? Let's try that again. Delete. Let's try that again. Let's go back to here. npx make full stack app. I'll just be explicit about it. And I'll express React. What happened here? Oh, I wrote npm. That's why. npx. Okay. Cool. Now let's take a look. More blog. Okay, now we do have a backend folder. So we have our React project and we have our Express project. Okay, cool. So let's go back into the front end now. I want to do an npm install to install the current libraries. And I want to do a install Mongorester, npm install Mongorester. Cool. Now I need to connect. Do I have my template.env? So what I need to do, I'm just gonna do everything out of server.js because it's gonna be pretty quick. Okay. So let's see here. Const. What I want out of Mongorester. Const. I'm gonna want conmon because that's how we're gonna connect to Mongo. I'm going to want, and I want Rester because we're gonna use that to make our API. And then that's about it. That's all I'm gonna really need for this run around. Require Mongorester. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to want to connect to my database. So I'm going to add that over here. and it's just going to be const mongoose equals conmon, and then I just need to get the default local mongo URI. I think I would memorize this by now. Okay, and then we'll change this to sort of more blocks. Okay, so that'll connect us to our database. Then we're going to want a model. Okay, so our blog model and router. So that's going to be const blog router equals rester. Okay, and see rester takes the name of the model, then the schema. So the name of the model is blog, and the schema is just going to be title, which equals text or string, and body, which equals string. Cool. There we have our routes, and I'm going to simplify this CORS middleware. App.use. I just don't want to deal with CORS right now, so there we go. And all I really care about is the router, so let's just add that router right over here. App.use is going to be /blog, and it's going to use the blog router. Save. Okay, and then we should be done. Okay, that's it. Okay, we have created a full CRUD API. So let's test it out. npm run dev. Oh, let's see here. Runway is not defined. Is not defined. Oh, that must be it. Oh, my more recent edition break the library. Let's see if I can go fix it real quick. I left that. I know what happened there, but let's go fix the library real quick. So I guess we'll include this in my time because this is my mistake. So we'll just go fix the library. Runway was a feature I was going to add to do some sort of like object mapping, but didn't seem necessary. So let me go back to libraries, percent element. Okay, I'm going to just do this. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do that in a new window. New window. Open folder, development, personal, libraries, Mongorester. Okay, so we're going to have to make a new version. So that's going to be version 1.015. Okay, and then we'll go to index.js. I just need to remove this because I never actually created that. Okay, and then I created like some utility functions I added to. Those are pretty neat. Save. Okie dokie. So then I need to publish this. I do have a custom bash function I made, pushypub. What this is going to do is going to add all the changes, commit them, push them to GitHub, and then publish them to npm. Nice. Okay, so pushypub runway remove origin master. Okay, and see there, it's committed it, it's pushed it, now it's publishing it to npm. Okay, so that's updated. So I don't need this anymore. Now what I do need to do is reinstall it. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have the newer version. So I have a function for that too, because it just saves me time. npm re, meaning npm reinstall. And what I want to reinstall is Mongorester. And what that does is it's going to uninstall it and reinstall it. Okay, and just double check. That's going to be 5.15 is the version that's going to add now. I think that's correct. Yep, 1.015. Good. So we shouldn't have that problem anymore. So npm. So you just saw me update the library live. How cool. npm run dev. Let's do that now. There we go. Connected to MongoDB. Okay, cool. So we are connected to MongoDB. So let's open up Postman and try this out. Okay, so wait, what port are we on? Port 3000. Okay, so it's gonna be port 3000 /blog. /blog. Let's see here. So technically right now I should just be able to get an empty array from here. And I did. Good. Now let's try the post. Let's try to add a blog. Okay, good. We already got something there. That makes life easier. Okay, it was added. Let's add another one. And another one. Okay, now let's see if we see all of them here. And they're all there. Let's take one of their IDs and see if we can edit it. Okay, so that would be a put request. Then I have to add the ID to the end of the URL, because again, this is RESTful conventions. Okay, so again, generally it's just to the endpoint. You do your get and post. For put, you have to add the ID of the item at the end of the URL. And then I want to update it to 5.6. Send. Okay, and again, if you're not sure what I'm doing at the moment, then watch one of my more longer builds, or watch my intro to Express videos or my intro to React videos to get an idea of like, this is the point of this isn't to like, this is more like you're watching me speed run a build. That's sort of more the point of this video. Okay, cool. So that works, and then let's try deleting it. That works. So if I go back here, there should only be 2. Oops, I gotta take off the ID. And there we go. Cool. So overall, all working. Okay, so good stuff. Cool. So now we can start building the front end. So see, we did our back end in again like 10 minutes, and that's with me having to update the library quickly and publish it to npm right there mid video. Couple lessons learned here. Mongorester really helps speed things up. Lesson number 2 is creating yourself some bash functions can make, and really kind of personalizing and automating tasks that you do a lot can make your life a lot easier and a lot quicker, save you time. So bash, I do have a video on bash scripting. Do check it out. It'll save you time, make your life easier. Okay, so now let's go to the front end. Now here I want to install my my custom React hooks. So first I want to install all the existing stuff. I'm not going to install router this time around because it's really just going to be literally one page. We're just going to see the blogs, add, edit, delete, all that fun stuff. Keep it real simple. Okie dokie. And front end, so then we want to install npm install merced-react-hooks. Cool. Okay, so let's go to the front end source. Okay, and let me close this out. I'm not going to use global state or anything like that. I want to keep this simple. So technically all I need to do is here. Okay. And then I might as well put the URL here, const URL. Well, it doesn't really need to exist outside of the component, so. This is all going to be one component this time around. Const URL equals http //www localhost 3000. Okie dokie. And honestly, yeah, localhost 3000. Okay, so first we're going to create the state that has the blogs in it. Okay, and for that, I'm going to use my newest hook, import from merced-react-hooks, and that's use CRUD. This is actually, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Use CRUD. So I'm going to do const use CRUD, and basically what this is going to be is we're going to get back the state, which will be the blogs. Then we'll get back a function that's called get blogs, post blogs. It's just your standard CRUD functions. Post blogs, get blogs, put blogs, destroy blogs. Okay, and yeah, then we just do this. Use CRUD. And then we just need to pass in the URL, which is going to be URL plus the endpoint / blog. Okie dokie. And that should do it. Okay. Again, no trailing slash, because the different endpoints will add or subtract that as needed. Cool. So technically I just made all my CRUD functions. Done. Easy. Okay, cool. And now what I want to do is I want to create a function for what we see when the blogs are loaded. So const loaded equals, and basically the end result will be this: if blogs is null, if blogs exists, we'll see the loaded function, and if not, we'll have also a loading variable there. Okay, so I might as well make that one real quick. Const loading equals an h1 that says no blogs. Okay, and then we finish up this function. And what this function will do is return JSX at the top. Let's choose a fragment, so that way I don't have to worry about like sibling elements. So an h1 that says these are the blogs. Okay. Then we're going to have a map to map over the blogs. So blogs.map. And each blog will be singular. And then that's going to return some JSX. And for each blog, we are going to have an well, we need to have a fragment. Well, actually, we'll just put it in a div, because I need to give that div a key. Equals blog dot underscore ID, because it's going to have an ID because it's a Mongo thing. Then we're going to have an h1 with the blog dot title. And then we're going to have an h1 or a p tag with the blog dot body. Okay. Easy peasy. And then we're going to have two buttons. So first button is going to have an onClick function. Actually, we'll come back to the edit button. I'll just make the edit button. Okie dokie. And we'll make a delete button. The delete button I can do now. On click. Okay, and all this does on click. So it's going to pass the ID. So I'm going to create an arrow function. And it's just going to run the destroy logs function and pass in the blog dot underscore ID. And then that'll just destroy that particular blog. Save. Cool. Now we need to be able to add blogs, so I'm going to need some state for that blog. So I'm going to create two. Let me think about how I want to do this. Do I want to create two forms? Yeah, I will create two forms. Okay. So let's see here. First, we'll create the new form. So const. So I'm going to want to use form state from my custom hooks. Thinking how I want to do this. Actually, maybe I should make this a separate component. That might be the smart thing to do. That way I can just use one form. So what I will do is I'll create a new component, form.js, and I'm going to copy the boilerplate. I don't really need, I'm not using React Router this time around. So all I can go. So I'm assuming that this already has router wrapped in it. Yeah, this setup already has router wrapped in. Cool. Form.js. Const form equals. Okay, and then we're going to do an export default form. And what I want to do here is I want to use form state. I'm not going to need the CRUD, so I can take that out of there. Okay, and bottom line is this needs props, so let me pass in the props. Okay, cool. And then let's just break down the props. So out of props, I'm going to want the initial out. I don't think I would need, and I'm probably going to have a label for the button, and probably a handle click. So that way, depending on what the form is doing, it can do the thing. Okay. So in that case, first let's get use form state. So const, this is going to give me the form state. So form, we'll just call it form state. And then we're going to have a handle change function. And then we're going to get a reset function to reset the form. Okay, and then we use form state, and we have to pass in the initial state, which is going to be the initial. And then it provides us all those functions. Okay, cool. So that's to save those time. I don't have to go create a separate handle change function. It knows what to do. I'm not going to have to really worry about thinking about how I'm going to reset the form. I just run this reset function and it'll reset it back to whatever the initial is. Very nice. So I do need a handle submit function for when we submit the form. So handle submit event. Okay, and then what this is going to do is that's going to do event.prevent default. Okay, it's going to do the handle click, passing in the form state. Then it's going to reset the form, and then that's it. Now we create the form, return form with input. Okay. With input type equals text, name equals title, on chain or value with bind the value. Value is going to equal form state dot title, and on change equals handle change. I need two of those. Text title, and this one's going to be body. Form state dot title. This will be form state dot body, and on change equals handle change. That works for me. And then we just need a submit button. Input type equals submit, value equals label. So that way it says whatever I wanted to say depending on the use case. Cool. And this does what I want to do. Okay, cool. So that's done. Now I just need to import the form, and I don't need use form state here anymore. import form from /form. Okay, so first off, I want there to be a new form. Okay, so let me just create a blank blog here. Const blank equals title body okay. Cool. And what's going to happen here is we're going to have a form. No, not in the map. I want it outside the map. These are the blogs. Before that, we'll say, hey, create a new blog. And we'll have an instance of the form there. The form will have a label. The button will say create. Then I also need to pass it in an initial. The initial will equal blank. And the handle click. Is that what I called it? Yeah, handle click. The handle click will equal. I don't think we would want to. Yeah, it could just. I'm pretty sure it could just be the post blogs, because they can just pass the body right into that, and that would work. And then we close off the form. There we go. Now each individual one of these actually doesn't even need an edit button technically. What I'll do is I'll just put a form instead, right under each one. I would do something a little bit different. I was using router, but form initial, and the initial is actually going to equal the individual blog in this case, and the label will say edit, and the handle click is going to be a little bit different, because the way I designed use CRUD is that the function it gives you for put takes in the ID and the body. Because again, I don't know exactly how you constructed your API. I'm assuming you're using RESTful convention, so the function it gives you tries to be flexible depending on your situation. It's not assuming that you're passing in the whole object on the back end and have an API designed for that. So in that case, I have to do this. So again, the functions will get passed into the blog, and then we're going to use put blogs, and we're going to pass in what did I have it? I think it's ID then the body. So let me just double check. I can just look at the documentation. So let's look up merced-react-hooks. We go on npm. Let's just read the docs. It's my own library, and I still got to read my own docs. Here we go. Okay, so the post, yeah, it's the body first, then the ID. Because see, these are the 4 functions it gives you when you use CRUD. Okay, so it gives you post, destroy, and again, you can name them whatever you want because you're destructuring the array that it returns. But the post one is body, then the ID. So then what I want to do is pass in the blog, then the blog dot underscore ID. Okay, and then that should do it. We should have full CRUD. Okay, so we did this in less than half an hour. Nice. Okay, git add git add npm run dev. Let's see if it all came together. Nope, it looks like we're gonna have to fix some things. So let's see what we have to fix. Connected token on line 28. So let's go over to app line 28. Oh, did I forget to close the form tag? I think I did. There we go. No blogs. Interesting. So why not? Oh, it doesn't automatically invoke blogs once I have to do a use effect. So react.use effect. I gotta make sure we get blogs at least once. Get blogs. There we go. Cool. So there are the blogs that I created. Okay, so let's try creating a new blog. Blah 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 blah. Did not. Oh, what happened there? Just creating an infinite loop. Why? Oh, I know why. Forgot to put the second dependency, the empty array. It's kind of important. There we go. There we go. So let's try that again. It still didn't quite create it. So let me examine what happened there. Blogs. That's the get. Never made. Oh, I know why. Silliness. Never actually added the handle submit function here. On submit equals handle submit. There we go. Save. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, so see that's working. So we can add. Let's try the delete one. So if I delete that one, oh, and it disappears. Good. And if I try to add this, if I try to edit this one, and it works. There you go. So we did full CRUD. It actually ended up being 30 minutes. We made a full CRUD application. Okay, now not with authentication, just because again the whole setting up of sign up, log in, log out takes a little bit longer. But you can see like things like using the use CRUD hook and the use form state hook really saved us some time, because I didn't have to write out this handle change function. I didn't have to write out all these CRUD functions. It was just kind of all created for me. And then on the back end, the use of the rester function on Mongorester really saved us some time. So if I go back to here, the server.js, okay, literally this one line of code over here, this generated the blog model and all the blog CRUD routes in one line of code. And then this set up all my boilerplate for connecting to Mongo, one code. So these libraries I created do make life a lot easier. So again, what are the two libraries that I created that make your life easier? On the front end, it's merced-react-hooks. Okay, and then also there's in the Mongo Express side, it's Mongorester. Okay, and then again, there's all the documentation. I try to put documentation so you know exactly what it's doing. Okay, and there's some other tools here, like if you want to inject data into your request object, so that way you have certain things available to all your routes from the get-go. There's that. And there's CB log. This is just like if you need to pass in like, you know, like a quick console log as a callback. This just makes the life a little bit easier. Okay, so for, like here's the kind of a particularly main use for like app.listen. You could just write CB log server listening on the server port, and it just makes a nice little message. Instead of typing in a callback and having to set up the whole console log yourself, you can just run this function and it'll create a nice little message. So I'll just actually show you guys how that works. Let me go import here, Mongorester, CB log. And let me go over here and then replace this. So I'm going to replace this with CB log server listening on port. Okay, now if I go back over to our backend, see now that message looks a little bit different. That's a little bit nicer, right? It's like, oh look, that's a little bit more nicer looking terminal versus what I had before by default connected to Mongo. This gave you just a little bit less typing. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of nice. I probably should kind of use that for the Mongo messages. So like this whole connected to Mongo message that's built in to the conmon function. I probably should take advantage of the CB log function in there, so that way you get colorful Mongo messages. But those are just little minor edits down the road. My name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing me build a full stack application in 30 minutes with a full stack MERN application in 30 minutes. Again, I didn't do any styling. We can spend another half hour making it look pretty, but the idea is that the functionality, the fact that it works, was all done in about 30 minutes. My name is Alex Merced. Have a great day and enjoy.